So here we are at the moment. Currently, this is the year 2020, and I have just, as far as my paddle boarding has been going, I've just paddled. I've taken on the Belfast to Dublin paddle, and I have just finished paddling from Belfast the whole way along the Ards Peninsula, and I've crossed Strangford. And I was planning on carrying on to Dublin, but I got word that summer that from my one of my best friends from the States, who I've done my teacher training with for yoga, and we've been done lots of healthy activities and fun things together. Anyway, I got word of her that she had cancer and she had 4 months to live, and it was a massive shock. She was living out in Maine at the time with her daughter and was going to have to come back home to Ireland to relocate while she was getting her cancer treatment, and it wasn't looking good. And this was also during lockdown. So she was flying back around then, and so she was lucky she got in to Ireland at the time that I decided, I'm going to do a fundraiser for her, because everyone in America where she was living, where I met her, was gathering money for her to help her and her daughter. Um, so I thought, right, what else can I do? I've done the East Coast. I'm working my way down to Dublin, but I hadn't done the very north of Ireland, which was Portballintrae across to Donegal. And I kind of thought that was quite appropriate because it's the north of Ireland. Donegal is in the south of Ireland, so it's kind of north to the south. And Ailish, my friend, was from County Clare in the south of Ireland. So I thought it was nice sort of bridging the north and the south. And it's a 21-mile paddle that I was going to do in a day across the north coast, Lough Foyle. So this is where I was then. So literally pausing the paddle to Dublin for a short little bit while I did this, and this was coming up. So I have found out in the summer that she had months to live, and so yeah. So then started coming up with the idea, getting plans, finding out if it was doable, and actually, I think that summer I was doing something with Kim Kelly. Maybe it was um paddleboarding, and I told her the story, and then she sorry, here we go. She wrote this lovely article. But anyway, this is the article. This is my friend Ailish, and she did this lovely article. So anyway, I describe it a bit better in this. So got home late last night and did wonder, whenever I came in and saw this magazine sitting on our kitchen top, I was thinking, I wonder why Richard has got himself a women's magazine. Anyway, he said, take a closer look. And there on top is my name. He said that the girl in the shop Rachel had recognized my name on the magazine. And Kim has done it, and there's a picture of Gemma Garrett on the front. And Kim Kelly's done a really lovely write up for my stand-up paddleboard. So it was a lovely surprise. I wasn't expecting to see this. It was so kind of her. Jenny set sails for Christmas Miracle. When Portrushwoman Jennifer Greenlees discovered her close friend only a few months lived, she got on her paddleboard to raise much needed cash for her cancer treatment. By Kim Kelly. The feeling of helplessness when you discover a close friend is seriously ill is one that sadly many of us have experienced. So well written, and such a lovely surprise. So thank you so much, Kim Kelly. That was a wonderful thing for you to do. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. So if you haven't seen it, go out and buy it, everybody. Northern Woman, Local Woman. It's a great, fantastic magazine and great read. Bye. So Local Woman, the North Coast edition. So that was a lovely surprise. So yeah, I was coming up with the plan, and I was going to do this long distance paddle. I'd gone down to visit Ailish, and I was shocked at how poorly she was. Anyway, so this is the route. Right, Bushmills. This is Portballintrae is here. This is really the foot. For anyone that doesn't know the Northern Ireland, North Coast Ireland, Giant's Causeway is right around here. This is the Giant's Causeway, really. This is the foot of the causeway, and in and around this is, I think, Portballintrae Harbour right here. So so this was the plan. I have literally used Portballintrae here to paddle out of. On my last paddle to Belfast, I set off from here. So just joining the dots. I hadn't done this part, so I hadn't paddled from here across the front, Portrush, Portstewart. I've done this in my own time, but I thought I'd never done this. Cross Castle Rock, this is all new to me, and Lough Foyle to Greencastlemobile. This is Donegal. Now, this is very strong currents. This is Lough Foyle here, so this was probably the what I was most worried about on this paddle. So of course I went back to my friend Al Many, who is big wave surfer, local legend, and he had paddled. And he had inspired me from the beginning by paddling from here to Scotland. So very experienced paddleboarder and surfer. So I contacted him to see, and it just so happened he had paddled across here, I guess, in one of his does a lot of training, one of his training sessions. So it was doable. So that was good. That was a thumbs up. Although just because it's doable doesn't mean it's going to be in any way, shape, or form easy. There's also the River Bann comes out here as well. So there's currents coming out from this as well. Portrush, Ramore Head can be tricky enough. I've gone round there. In fact, there was one time I was trying to paddle round and I realized I just wasn't going anywhere. I was paddling against the tide. I think I'd come this way that day and couldn't get round, and ended up just having to give up and just went back the way the tide had taken me. So so I was a wee bit worried about that too, because I had problems getting around that before. So this is the route. It's about 20 miles, just over 20 miles. And so I was really trying to get the fundraising in. I only had a short time, so I was on the radio, Radio Ulster, and Radio Foyle very kindly had me on. And this is me doing a bit of a recce along the coast. This is Castle Rock, so you can see all the lovely white strand beaches are along here. Castle Rock and Benone, and down into Port Stewart, and there down in Portrush and round to Portballintrae. And this is McGilligan. So this was the territory I hadn't been, is crossing the Foyle here. There's usually a ferry, but like I said, this was coming into lockdown, and the south of Ireland was actually closed because I had thought of just starting across there, but it was shut down. We weren't allowed in, so I had to try and figure out how I was gonna cross and come back. So I was going to cross it twice. This is McGilligan Point with a pier. The ferry's usually here. No ferries because it was closed. This is, I think, Downhill Beach, cafe. Windy day. Where the ferry leads from here. I'm assuming that's where it ends up. Over there. Whether to just do that crossing is probably the best idea, or over here, a bit launch from there, I think, and across quite narrow. You have to find out if there was a place there on the other side. Anyway, I'll have to do a bit more research. So, checking out the course, figuring it out. Just so happened I had met someone during lockdown, who was from McGilligan, so I got some really good.
Like you would have like
advice.
oodles and oodles of strand there, like the tide sucks right back. So that's Greencastle across there. Then you would go to Moville, and then you would go to Redcastle down there.
Oh, right, that's very Christmas. Good. Well, it does look kind of calm and flat today, doesn't it?
It's always it's never wavy, but it's the strong current in and out. Yeah.
So Rachel Sherrod was brilliant to talk to, because she grew up here on a farm and would know the area really well. So she very kindly sort of took me on a little tour around here and showing me the area with her son and her little dog. That's Harry and Willow. They were entertaining Jack, who was with me that day too. Jack was very excited because there's actually a firing range here. Oh, I'll just do. So this is a little short video. This is the point of McGilligan where the restaurant is and the ferry crossing is. So we'll be paddling from there across the loch, the other side that the ferry will be running, and then back, and then out through the mouth of the loch, and then out to sea. And then if you see on round there, you can actually see the Giant's Causeway way off in the distance. So this is the route on a calm day now. And you can see up here, this is the firing range. So this was another thing that I had to be very careful of, because when this is in operation, often they can be firing out to sea. So you're not allowed in the water when the firing range is on. So I had to try and figure out also a time to do this and make sure that it was going to be, with the tide and the wind and everything, but also okay it with the firing range that I can get past at the same time. Here I am at McGilligan. You can see shooting range back here. I'm going to try and get past the shooting range. If you look right here, you'll see the actual journey. So the end point down there is Portballintrae, 21 miles, not a problem. And this is the mouth of the Foyle here, Lough Foyle. And this is probably the iffy bit, which is trying to get across. And because the ferry's not running, I'm going to be traveling across the loch, the Greencastle, and then back out and out through the mouth of the loch here and away. So that's the journey. In here, across, out through the loch, and then we've only got 20 more miles to go. So that's the plan. This is the firing range, so we won't have a little look around here. There's warning, red flag hoisted at night, no authority or no entry. When the red flags are hoisted, and it is in operation. So here I am at McGilligan at the firing range, and as you can see, there's the range behind, and it's really close to the sea. So basically, I'm going to be in touch with the firing range officer to make sure it's safe enough to get out of here whenever I go paddling. And then you can see on down here, we have down the beach, all these lovely stretches, sand, and then on round to Port Stewart. And then that goes on, and then we'll try to get to Port Ranch. Then it's on this castle, not far to Portballintrae. So this is it, the mouth of the Foyle,
which is where I'll be setting off from, crossing over the Foyle. So we're doing lots of practicing and training. So really looking forward. Looking forward to getting a good window. Weather's looking good.
And on. I wasn't.
So please sponsor me if you haven't already. Thank you.
He's playing. So yes, I had been doing a lot of, the good thing was I had been doing a lot of paddleboarding, so I was feeling strong. And this is just a picture of the area from the shooting range. This is the sea here, the North Channel, which I'll be paddling around. There's McGilligan Point. I guess the river, the loch coming out. And this is the firing practice around here. Anyway. So I had to call them to get the go ahead. It was tricky enough trying to even get a number to call them, but I did get through, and it was all very official. And thankfully, the day that I picked, or that time of the day, maybe it was good because it was, you know, we were setting off very early in the morning, so it was, I got the thumbs up.
Hi everybody, I'm just doing a little quick recce, getting ready for the big challenge. Here is McGilligan Point, and this is where the restaurant and bar is. This is Mortello Tower. I'm going to be heading off here by the pier, or the beach here by McGilligan Point, crossing over here. We've got Greencastle, we've got Mobile, Redcastle, Mobile, Greencastle. So I'll be heading over towards Greencastle and then back out. As you can see today, it is looking quite calm and flat, which is perfect. Heading out through the loch here, just timing the currents. Here is firing range. You have to watch out for the firing range, and then only 20 miles to go once they get out through this bit, and you'll see all these lovely stretches of beaches. You've got Downhill, Benone, you've got Castle Rock, Port Stewart, all the way around Portrush, Ramore Head. You can just about see that today, I think, and then on round to the bit of the Giants Causeway, Portballintrae. So hopefully I won't have too many blisters on my hands. I'll be too exhausted by the time I finished all that. So if you haven't sponsored me, please do. And thank you to everyone who has sponsored me already. And hopefully we'll get a window to do this soon.
There we go. So that's the Point Bar at sunset. So this was coming into October. This was the day before actually.
Hi. I am just out and about this morning having a look at the sea to get ready for my fundraiser paddleboard challenge, which starts tomorrow. At first light, I will be down at McGilligan. So I'm at the moment I'm in Castle Rock, and I'm just out checking out. I don't know if you can see behind me, behind that church is the River Bann. So I'm just checking because there's been a lot of rainfall, and that's probably going to be quite a tricky part to get past tomorrow because there's a lot of strong current going out into the sea. So just figuring out how to negotiate that. But you can see in the distance, if I can turn my camera and have you see, further on round, you'll see out there Port Stewart and then Portrush, and then on round to you can just about see the skerries out there. Sorry, maybe not angling it that well, but the good thing is that it does look really calm and flat. I'm hoping the wind's going to go in the right direction. At the minute, it's looking a bit southeasterly, which is it's not great. I mean, it would be great if the wind was on my back, which would be more of a westerly wind, but I mean, I can't complain. If it's flat and calm, that's really good as well. So let's hope it stays like this and the winds stay low for tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8. So if you're out and about on the north coast tomorrow, I should be leaving at first light from McGilligan. I've got my rescue boat sorted. Big thank you to Dave Bustard and his son Adam, who are coming out with me on the rescue boat. They're coming from Portrush and Coleraine Yacht Club. And then we're going to be making our way along here past McGilligan. Firing range isn't shooting in the morning, thankfully. Kind of dreading getting past Lough Foyle, across Lough Foyle and back, but that'll probably be quite strong currents with all the rainfall and the high tide at the minute. But from then we get on down here. Once we get to once we get past the River Ban here, it'll be straight across to Portrush, Port Stewart, and then Portrush. Also a little cautious getting around Ramore Head because there'll be a lot of currents there too, and then hopefully straight onto Portballintrae. But you just never know with our coastline. Sometimes in one area it looks lovely and calm, and then you turn around a corner, it can be different. So I'm not too sure what to expect until I'm actually out in the middle of it tomorrow and doing it. So if I will probably be close to the shore. So if you see me, give me a wave. I'll be out probably sweating and paddling along with all my might. Really hoping I get it all done within the 6 hours before the tide changes again. So fingers crossed. I should be at Portballintrae, I'd say like around 1ish tomorrow. If you're about, give us a shout. And thank you so much for all the sponsorship. If you haven't sponsored me, it's not too late. I've raised probably about 1,500. I was hoping to get up to 3,000. So any sponsorship would be greatly appreciated. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching out for me. Cheers. Have a good weekend.
Yep. So all good. Yeah, this is yeah, you could I looked quite nervous there to be honest. This is, but thankfully it was flat. I was really, you can't really ask for more than that. I mean, if you're paddling against the wind, it's just going to slow things down. But as long as it's not too strong, the wind, flat and calm is also really good. If you can stand, it's amazing. That's me again, just a little shorter version of what I was saying there. Yep, so this was the tide, it was first light is going to be 8 in the morning, Sunday, October 18th. And so I was planning to be down for this time and then so paddle across it when it was at tide. So here we go. So I think it was literally the night before. Again, I was just running through my times and making sure I'd got it all right. I think I'd sent Al another message just to, to be sure. And he just randomly said, would you like me to join you for the paddle across the foil? And I thought, oh my gosh, happy days, not going to turn that down. Absolutely. Yes, it'd be brilliant to have, he's so experienced and he's done it before. It would be great to have someone with you doing something tricky like that, like crossing the river foil, because again, I don't know what it's going to be like. So that was a lovely bonus. So we were planning to meet down there. I think it was between 7 to 8. I had to bring Richard and Jack because at that time, I think it was at that time you're supposed to be staying in bubbles and we couldn't actually leave Jack with his granny or anything like that. It was complicated anyway because of all the lockdown stuff that was going on, but it was very kind of Al to arrive down. So we met up before it was still pitch black. I was quite nervous, got my board out, and then we set off together. And, Al was very strict, do not mess this up. You've got one chance to get across. He told me what marker to look for to cross to. And so we set off in the dark, and I was thinking, oh, this is great. I got some company. Might even be able to have a wee chat, catch up. It's nice to chat to someone of those days, catch up with what's going on around the world and with other people. And but literally we were only in about, I'd say 2 minutes. We'd literally just set off and we both got separated by the current. So then I just did, then I was sort of in panic mode. What should I do? Should I just stick to the route or shouldn't I stick to the route? Will I just try and find where Al is, or will I just keep going, do what he said? Like the words where you've only got one chance of doing this, don't mess this up, go straight to this thing. So I just paddled straight on. So we didn't have much company of each other. Also, my boat, the rescue boat couldn't launch from here. And also I meant to say big thank you to Portrush Yacht Club for letting me I had Dave and Adam Bustard, who were on the rescue boat from Portrush, and it was very, very kind of them to volunteer to do this, and for the yacht club to Portrush Yacht Club to allow us to have the rescue boat and everything. So that was amazing. So they were coming here. They were leaving at first, like Portrush Harbour. They were going to fly across. They're pretty much doing the route, Portrush over to McGilligan, and then they were going to meet me here and then paddle back to Portrush with me. So, which was great. Anyway, so this is us setting off together. So we set off together. It's a bit blurry, but it was pretty much black. And it was really hard going. You know what? I really had to paddle, give it my all, crossing over. The currents were a lot stronger than I was expecting. And I was getting blisters, and I was thinking, oh, I've got blisters already on my hands. And I've still got the whole 20 miles to do. So got across, thankfully. I think Richard was really shocked because he was expecting us to arrive together, and we got separated. So I think he was really shocked seeing us both come in separately, and because he was watching by the sidelines there. He was my on-land support again. And then coming out of the foil, oh my gosh, it's like paddling through treacle. It was so slow trying to get out of the lock and then around the coast. Certainly the first, I'm pretty sure the rescue boat thought this is going to take us forever because it was really, really slow going with all this, the currents at the mouth of the big lock like that. There's lots of currents and eddies and everything going on around there, and it just makes it slow going. Anyway, this is for me when I've got further out, so I'm starting to paddle along the coast now, and it's lovely and flat. You can see my rescue boat paddling along. Started to pick up some pace. Thankfully, crossing the Ban was not as difficult as there's the Ban there at the mouth of the Ban. You can see we did slow down, and the guys went right up into the mouth of it, and I managed to paddle across it okay. It's always a bit rough. There's always waves whenever where a river comes out into meets the sea. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. And I was really starting to feel like I was picking up some pace. So I think now I was actually getting into the flow of the tide. And a wonderful surprise, dolphins appeared, a whole pod of dolphins. And you can see one here beside the rest. Now, I actually do not ever stop to take photos whenever I'm doing any of these paddling events. I don't even stop to eat. I just, I'll have my drinks, whatever I have on me. But I would rarely stop paddling, but I just had to stop for the dolphins because it was just so lovely. Stopped for a little while, took some photos, tried to capture them in video. I took so many photos, and I don't think any of them really came out. You can see one little dolphin there. It was really a lovely treat. You can see it better in this. There's one. I'll show you again. I don't know why I don't have more pictures of the dolphins because there must have been, I'd say, about 10 or 12. No, they weren't that interested when we stopped moving, but they had whenever there's any speed, there had been a sailing boat coming along the side, and that's when we'd noticed them first, and they were jumping up around the sailing boat, and then they came over just to say hello to us. They're not very, very interested in the paddleboarder because I'm just too slow. It's too boring for them. You can see it's the same thing. There was, I don't know, I was so sure I was like taking photos of all these dolphins, and we had nothing much to show for it. So back on the paddle again, because the current was going strong, I didn't really want to be wasting time. It felt like I was flying along for a little bit. Past Port Stewart seemed to just fly along, and then coming round Ramore Head was fine. And Adam and my rescue boat had Adam and Dave had to go in, father and son. They were fantastic help, but they'd been out in the sea all day. This was like five hours. So they brought the boat in and must have got refueled, and then we had another man that came and joined us. His name was Mark, and he accompanied me very kindly to Portballintrae, which was great having some company. So turned the corner, and then it actually just slowed right down again. This was quite sore, and I was kneeling because it was choppier around here. It tends to be like that when you go round Ramore Head. One side can be nice and smooth, and the other side can be choppy. So when I got round, there's Dunluce Castle. Just about to see that in the background there. Dunluce, passing Dunluce. Kneeling again. There's my backpack on with all my drinks and stuff. And then finally coming into Portballintrae Harbour. This, I have to say, I did this in very good time, but the last hour was so painful and tiring. Like I just was like so when you're looking at rocks, you're just going, it has to be round the next corner, has to be round the next corner, waiting for the mouth of the harbour. And it just seemed to go on and on and on. And it's quite a long paddle from Portballintrae to Dunluce, and that was just a wee tiny bit of my paddle, so it was tiring. I was when I got to this part coming in here, I was very, very pleased. So there's me, my rescue boat coming into the harbour. It's nice and flat again, standing up just about. It's totally wrecked. Here we go.
Hi, I did it. I'm probably looking totally bedraggled. I feel totally wrecked. Sore shoulders, sore knees, sore hands. But here I am, Portballintrae. Very nice to have a nice welcoming party here. But it was what a wonderful experience anyway. And just a big thanks, Dave and Adam were brilliant on the rescue boat, and then Mark came in, and big thanks to Al who came out to help me at the start, because that foil was really quite scary. It was very, very strong currents crying across the foil, and I lost Al for a bit. For most of it, actually, it was really hard going, and then when I got out of there, it was very slow going the first hour, so it was just like paddling through soup. It was so slack, the sea was slack, but it was beautiful scenery the whole way, and just really glad to have it finished. I'm here, I'm done it, and got a lovely day. It was quite choppy there, that last bit, and the dolphins in the middle when I got to Portrush was just a real bonus. So, and of course, thank you to my lovely husband for being the on-land support as well. So thank you so much. And if you haven't sponsored me already, please do. All proceeds going to Ailish.
Please do.
Come on, Ailish. You can do this. Love you. Bye.
Yes, a big thanks to Richard as well. He's always the one carrying the boards and keeping an eye from the distance. And there I am with my dad. My party had arrived down, and we were having sandwiches and tea and glasses of tea and everything. I was so tired and so relieved. I think I'm just totally crazy. There's the boys. Jack was so happy to see his cousins. It was a real bonus and we weren't seeing a lot of each other this time.
What a difference a day makes. Very wet today and miserable. I'm so glad I managed to get out to do the paddleboarding yesterday. And I just wanted to say big thank you to everyone that helped me. I have been plaguing the likes of Al Menny and Richard Wasson and people that I know who know the sea to make sure that I picked the right dates. And again, big thanks to Al Menny who joined me in the morning when I was paddling across the foil. It was really tricky. And big thanks to my rescue boat, Dave and Adam. They were fantastic. Really appreciate their help. They were fantastic support along the way. And really a big thanks to Mark who joined, that took over at the end, and then all my family and friends that came were out along the way, and thanks again for everyone who's been sponsoring me. And the sponsorships coming in, still rolling in, getting very close to the target now. So big thank you. And I actually don't feel so bad today. I've been rubbing my black and blue cream in like crazy. It's really good for sore muscles, and I have to say, not so bad. And I did my rolling and my yoga this morning as usual, and I could feel the tight spots, but definitely recovering well. So thank you so much again, and just really, and thank you weather that I managed to get that weekend done, and hoping that Ailish is feeling better every day and getting better, and hoping the sponsorship money will give her a hand when she gets through her treatments. Will be helpful for her. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Big kiss from me. Bye.
And there we are. And we did it. Raised the total. The target was £3,000. Gathered that up for Ailish. And sent that across to her. And Ailish was looking a lot better. And she had got lots of treatment done for her health and her immune system and everything. And thankfully, Ailish is alive and strong and doing really, really well. So she survived. Thankfully, she had been battling cancer and was a success. So really pleased for Ailish, really thrilled to bits. And we've gone on and done a yoga treat together again. And yeah, we've been in touch, and yeah, it's lovely. So pleased for her and her daughter. So yeah, so we did that, and then it was, yeah, back to the paddle that I was supposed to be doing, which was the long distance paddle for the RNLI, which was from Belfast to Dublin. So yep, back to the program. And that's the route. And I had literally just done this part when I got word of Ailish. And so I had to get back in and continue all of this for the next part, the paddle. Anyway, that'll be in the next video. Thanks for watching.